Hello everyone, today we'll conduct a detailed technical analysis of WhiteFiber Incorporated, WYFI, stock based on the available data, which is limited to a single trading day, August 7, 2025, as the company recently went public via an IPO. We'll break down the analysis into the following sections: general overview and trend, price-volume relationship, moving averages, technical indicators, linear regression, next trading day opening estimate, support and resistance levels, potential intraday high and low based on ATR 14, possible scenarios, and conclusion. Additionally, I'll include a few key points to highlight. General overview and trend. WhiteFiber Incorporated, WYFI, a carve-out from Bit Digital Incorporated, operates high-performance computing data centers and provides cloud services for AI workloads. The stock began trading on the Nasdaq Capital Market on August 7, 2025, following an upsized IPO priced at $17.00 per share. On its debut, WYFI opened at $25.00, reached a high of $25.13, dropped to a low of $15.82, and closed at $16.22, reflecting a 4.6% decline from the IPO price. The single-day data suggests high volatility, typical for a newly public company, especially in the AI infrastructure sector. With only one day of trading, no long-term trend can be established, but the closing price below the IPO price indicates initial bearish sentiment, possibly due to profit-taking or market dynamics. Price-volume relationship. On August 7, WYFI traded 14.78 million shares, a significant volume for an IPO debut, reflecting strong market interest. The price movement from an opening of $25.00 to a close of $16.22, with a low of $15.82, suggests heavy selling pressure after an initial spike. The OBV, on-balance volume, at 14.78 million aligns with the day's volume, but with only one day of data, it's neutral and does not yet indicate cumulative buying or selling trends. The high volume and sharp decline suggest retail and institutional participation, with potential profit-taking by early investors. Posts on X highlight excitement around WYFI's AI data center focus and partnerships, such as with Cerebras Systems, which may drive future interest. Moving averages, EMA and SMA. The provided CSV lacks values for moving averages, SMA_5 to SMA_200 and EMA_5 to EMA_200, likely because WYFI has only one day of trading data, insufficient to calculate these metrics. External sources indicate a 5-day SMA of 1760, 50-day SMA of 210, and 200-day SMA of 0.53, but these seem inconsistent with the single-day data and may reflect pre-IPO or erroneous calculations. Without multi-day data, moving averages cannot be computed directly. For context, the closing price of $16.22 is below the reported 5-day SMA, $17.60, suggesting short-term weakness if the external data is accurate. However, these figures should be treated with skepticism due to the limited dataset. Technical indicators. The CSV lacks values for most technical indicators, likely due to insufficient historical data. External sources provide some insights, which I'll integrate cautiously. Momentum indicators. RSI 14 at 100.0 suggests the stock is overbought, which is unusual given the price decline on August 7 and may reflect pre-IPO or erroneous data. Williams percent R14, MFI 14, and stock RSI are unavailable in the CSV, limiting momentum analysis. Stochastic indicators. Stock K15, stock D15, stock K5, and stock D5 are not provided, preventing stochastic-based insights. MACD. External data reports MACD at 4,490, suggesting a buy signal, but this is inconsistent with the single-day price drop and lacks context without historical data. Volatility indicators. ATR 14 is unavailable, but the day's range, 1582 to 2513, indicates high volatility. Bollinger Bands, BB_upper, BB_middle, BB_lower, are not provided, but the price closing near the day's low suggests proximity to a theoretical lower band. Trend indicators. ADX14 and DX14 are unavailable, but external sources report a neutral daily buy and sell signal based on moving averages, with 5 buy and 7 sell signals. Arun indicators are also missing, limiting trend analysis. Volume-based indicators, Chaikin oscillator and MFI 14 are unavailable. OBV at 1478 million reflects the day's volume but lacks trend context. The lack of multi-day data severely limits indicator analysis. External reports of an overbought RSI, 100 and neutral signals are questionable given the price action and should be verified with future data. Linear regression. The CSV lacks values for TSF_14, Coral_20, and DEMA_14, preventing linear regression analysis. With only 1 day's data, no trendline can be established. The external Fibonacci pivot point of 1668 is close to the closing price of 1622, suggesting a potential equilibrium point, but this lacks context without additional data. Next trading day opening estimate. The closing price on August 7th was 1622, with a previous close of 1700 per external sources. The VWAP at 190567 is above the closing price, indicating selling pressure dominated the day. Given the high volatility, day range of 1582 to 2513, and oversold conditions implied by the price drop, I estimate the opening price for August 8, 2025, the next trading day, as the CSV is dated August 8, to be in the 1550-1700 range. Strong buying volume, driven by AI sector enthusiasm or IPO interest, could push the price toward 1650-1700, while continued selling might test 1550 or lower. Support and resistance levels. With only 1 day's data, support and resistance levels are speculative. The day's low of 1582 serves as an immediate support, with the psychological level of 1500 as a potential next support. The IPO price of 1700 and VWAP at 190567 act as resistance levels, with the day's high of 2513 as a significant barrier. The closing price of 1622 is near the reported Fibonacci pivot point of 1668, suggesting a potential stabilization zone. Intraday movement on August 8 may range between 1550-1750, with a break below 1582 targeting 1500 or a move above 1700 testing 1900. Potential intraday high and low based on ATR 14. The ATR 14 is unavailable due to insufficient data. Using the day's range, 2513, 1582 equals 931, as a proxy for volatility, I estimate a potential intraday range for August 8. From the closing price of 1622, the high could be 1622 plus 4,655, half the day's range, equals 20,875, and the low could be 1622, 4,655 is equal to 11,565. However, given the oversold conditions and IPO volatility, a more conservative range is 1550-1750, with a high capped at 1800 and a low supported at 1500. Possible scenarios. Short-term bounce. The sharp decline from 2513 to 1622 suggests potential oversold conditions and positive sentiment around WYFI's AI focus, e.g., partnership with Cerebras Systems, could drive a rebound to 1700-1800 if buying volume increases. Continued decline. If selling pressure persists, possibly due to IPO profit-taking or market skepticism, the price could test 1500 or lower, especially with low volume. Consolidation. The price may stabilize in the 1550-1750 range, balancing IPO-driven volatility with investor interest in AI infrastructure. Conclusion. WYFI stock, debuting on August 7, 2025, experienced high volatility, opening at 2500 and closing at 1622, a 4.6% drop from its IPO price of 1700. The single-day data limits comprehensive analysis, but the high volume, 1478 million shares, and price decline suggests strong selling pressure post-IPO. External reports of an overbought RSI, 100 and neutral signals are questionable given the